So a couple days ago, Cartoon Network, the official Cartoon Network YouTube channel, released a clip for the new Toons University reboot. So before I give my opinions on the clip, I'm gonna give my opinions on the reboot and the original. When the reboot was first announced, I thought it would end up being kind of trashy like the Animaniacs reboot, even though I do enjoy it, but in some areas it's just bad. But I realized that I didn't care because I barely even watched anything of Tiny Toons. But recently I rewatched a bunch of episodes and I realized that I actually did care if it was sucked. Well, not only because it would suck, but also if it would be like a good representation of the original, but as long as it's a halfway decently entertaining program and things. And yeah, anyway, Tiny Toons, the original, is great. I think that unpopular opinion, but it's like a little bit better than Animaniacs, but specifically because that it's more consistent in the characters and the actual quality of the segments being more consistently good. But yeah. Anyway, about the opinions on the reboot, there was a bit of a controversy with the reboot about Buster and Val being twins. I do understand making changes to the characters, even though most of the time in reboots, when they make changes to the characters, it's usually really horrible and unnecessary. But this one is probably the most horrible and unnecessary out of literally all the ones I've seen. One of the main gags is Buster and Babs saying no relation because their last name is the same, but they're not related. So yeah, I have no idea why I felt the need to explain that, because it's incredibly obvious. But this one just removes that and makes them twins for some reason that doesn't really improve anything, and there's basically just no actual reason. So yeah, questionable change. So anyway, on to my opinions on the actual clip. So basically what happens is that Buster is in a separate dorm from Babs, so then he starts doing like a musical type sequence. Then Plucky comes in and is using his usual Plucky self, and Hampton's introduced in the end. Basically the whole clip. For my opinions on the clip, I want to mention the inconsistent animation, where sometimes it's really smooth and good, but then sometimes it just looks cheap, and the lip syncing looks bad sometimes. So yeah. Also, sometimes they use really stock Hanna-Barbera sound effects, and the slapstick doesn't really land as well as I think it should. So yeah. Anyways, I just want to talk about the voice casting things. I don't know why I didn't just get some of the original actors. I do get why for actors like Joe Lasky and Don Messick, who voiced Plucky and Hampton respectively, but they died like some time ago, so I understand why they couldn't get those voices back. But why couldn't they just get all the other voices? I guess because they were too lazy. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Hampton voice first. That voice actually sounds fine. With Plucky's voice, it just sounds like somebody doing a really bootleg, awful, no effort Daffy Duck impression, which I guess was the way the voice actor was directed. But in the old series, Plucky was voiced by Joe Lasky, which is one of Daffy's main voices, and I think the best voice outside of Mel Blanc, and the third best is Jeff Bergman, and following that is Eric Bauza. So both of them are in the series as other characters. Eric Bauza playing Buster and Jeff Bergman playing Bugs, and Eric Bauza also voiced Daffy. So why didn't they just get one of them to do Plucky's voice, since it's basically just Daffy, but with a different type of lisp. It's more like a lisp back here and not a lisp up here like Daffy usually has. So they basically just do it like the second one they did with the more frontal lisp, which bothers me more than it would bother any other person, because Plucky is the best character of all. So yeah, and messing up his voice just kind of, well, not really ruin the character, but just makes it feel off. So I guess someone in the direction was just being a moron and didn't pay attention. Also, the actor that they got doesn't really sound anything like Daffy or Plucky. The voice kind of fits him, but the lisping distracts me more than it actually should. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the clip. So yeah, anyways, the reboot does look decent so far. I'm hoping that it is, at the very least, a halfway decent, entertaining program, even though the Buster and Babs being twins thing. But more importantly for me, and probably not anybody else, the Plucky voice thing is probably going to be extremely distracting as it is in the clip. But it looks kind of halfway decent. So yeah, one question that I have is that in the original they had linking segments that sometimes have something to do with the episodes, but then sometimes we're completely unrelated to the actual shorts. So I wonder if they're just going to present them as regular segments like an Animaniacs with no actual linking material, or are they going to do the linking material sometimes and sometimes have full 20-minute episodes or whatever. So yeah, that's my opinion in the Toons Looniversity clip. But I hope people watch this video because it would have recorded sitting here for like a whole entire minute going on a tangent about Puggy's voice only for literally no one to watch it. So if you do watch this video, then send it to other people who actually care about the Toons reboot so they can watch it, and yeah. Bye. Hello, so I didn't mention when I originally recorded this, and this kind of correlates with the random reboot changes idea, but for some reason Plucky's shirt is black in the reboot. It's not really something that I mind, but why would they change that? So yeah, it doesn't annoy me as much as the lisp thing annoys me, but it's still a thing that I will always question until forever and ever. Okay, that's it, bye.